We've been working on a coach house for months. The masons have just finished restoring the facades, and it looks more beautiful than we ever imagined. But just as everything was coming together, we made a decision. We are throwing all our plans out of the window, and today we tell you why.
We need to talk.
We might have changed our minds
Slightly.
about the coach house.
Or completely. Rather completely than slightly.
At the moment, our heads are a little bit all over the place. We wanted to be honest and we wanted to share a bit what's going on in our heads.
And what keeps us awake during the night right now.
Yeah, because I'd say during this summer, there's been a lot of thinking and discussing.
This summer, our goal was on the holidays to come up with the final interior layout for the coach house so that when we come back, we could just start on the interior walls, etc. But the more we thought about it and the more versions we planned, the more we realized that nothing that we came up satisfied us.
As you know, the masons recently finished the facade and it is looking so good and so beautiful. We then started looking into how to do the windows, and I think originally when we set out to do this project at the beginning of the year, the idea was to try to keep the budget down. It was just going to be my atelier and maybe an office for Philip, possibly a sauna. We had this idea.
Yeah.
But as we started renovating it and we started investing money and we realized, okay, it would just be such a shame to make compromises.
We realized how beautiful this building turns out and what potential there is in this building. It is an amazing building and it's so big and it has so many rooms, and just bringing everything down to 2 units, to 2 workspaces, it just didn't feel right. And that's why we struggled this summer, and that's why we just couldn't come up with a solution.
So we've been thinking a lot, and
we came to the conclusion that we have to sell.
No, that's not true. We bought this chateau always with the vision of sharing this with people. And when we opened our guest house, it was amazing. We loved it. We had so many lovely guests here.
For 3 years.
It worked really well.
For those who don't know, for 3 years, the chateau was a guest house.
Yes, we ran it ourselves. We did everything ourselves until the end, where we had a little bit of help.
A lot of help.
But we also ran it alongside our YouTube, which just became overwhelming for us with our family. We couldn't do it all. So we took a really difficult decision, and when we had to make that decision whether to either stop YouTube or the guest house, it was difficult because we put so much work and time and love into creating that guest house.
And it was sustainable business. It did really well.
It worked really well.
We were basically fully booked for most of the year, so we were really lucky.
But at the time, we didn't see any other option.
Well, in the meantime, we found out in the years that it was closed that the most beautiful moments and the most amazing moments were when we had a lot of people here.
Like Patreon events.
Patreon meetings were amazing.
When we've hosted the concert for the village
but
here.
Even our family, when we had a lot of people here. And the reason for this is that this building, and I think the whole domain, was conceived from the beginning as a place to host people. And you can tell it how it's made, how the layouts, the way the rooms are beautiful. It's all guest rooms. It's not like a discreet family home or even a luxurious family home. It's a home to host. And that spirit is still there. When we were thinking this summer, we were thinking, how could we bring back that hosting spirit back into this property and back into our project? And would the coach house be a place where this spirit could be revived?
So I think as we started to just kind of throw around this idea of potentially maybe transforming the coach house into guest rooms, I was a little nervous because there was a reason we obviously stopped in the first place, but it does make so much sense. And the more and more we started discussing it, I started to get actually really inspired by the idea, and I started to imagine, for example, hosting some creative retreats here.
Basically the workshops you're doing online, you could do them in person here.
I would really love to have in-person workshops.
As you said, the more we think, the more it makes sense, because it would also allow us to invest more into it and to renovate it to its full potential, because we couldn't do that just for a workshop. We can't spend an infinitive amount of money.
Well, we don't have the money.
We don't have the money. And even if we had the money, I wouldn't want to invest that huge amount of money that's needed to restore it as good as possible just to have an office space or to have a workshop. At the same time, I do think this building totally deserves to be restored to a really, really high standard. And just when we're working now on the walls and we're discovering all the problems that were done by bad renovations in the past, I feel this time we need to do it right, so that in 100 years, not somebody comes and sees and is upset about the people who did it 100 years ago. So do it right, not with splashing, but do it seriously and with the right choices and without having budget restraints that make us make the wrong choices and do it cheaply.
We were a little bit hesitant about sharing these ideas that we've been having because we were worried if it would make us look like we don't know what we're doing.
Well, it's because we don't know what we're doing.
I think that for the last 2 years since we shut down the guest house, we have really struggled with what are we doing here at the Chateau, and we wondered if we should sell because it's so big for a family of 4. This idea now that we have is potentially the solution. If we don't have a business plan for these outbuildings, historical buildings, we can't finance the renovation. They will eventually just start decaying and crumbling. You do have to have a business plan or a business behind it to help you to do the work.
There's another reason as well. Of course, we have YouTube, so
Yes.
we can film these things and we generate an income through YouTube. You're lucky enough to have that. Just doing it for YouTube for the sake of producing content seems wrong to me as well. And that's why I want to infuse the project also with a scope beyond YouTube, and that it makes sense that we create a sustainable business that can also exist, that doesn't completely rely on YouTube.
Yes.
And that will allow us as well to go to a bank and ask for the necessary loan to be able to renovate these buildings.
At the core of this whole idea is really that we want to have this as a place that we can share with people again, because it is such a shame. It's such a...
We miss it.
Yeah.
We miss being surrounded by people here. We miss having nice parties here. We miss having visitors here, showing people around in the garden, because it's getting so nice. And apart from Ziggy, me, and occasionally kids, and you occasionally, nobody sees it. And that's a pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can show it on YouTube, but it's not the same thing as having somebody walking here, discussing and looking at the plants and the trees, and many reasons.
So that's where we are at right now, which kind of puts a spanner in the works of our renovation, because we had a plan and we've been working towards that. But now that we've had this new idea, we need to kind of reflect a bit. We need to
find out how we can create a layout, not anymore for a workshop and an office, but a layout that hosts guest accommodations.
So we want to know, what do you guys think? Is it a good idea? Would you want to come and stay here and do some retreats?
Or are there any other ideas?
Yeah, give us some ideas.
Yes.
We would love to hear. I think it's always really helpful when we ask for your feedback, and it's invaluable.
It's not that we didn't do our homework. So I already sat down and started drawing out a potential floor plan for the coach house to host as many rooms as possible, but nice rooms and pretty rooms that are somehow in the line of with the Chateau, of course. And I'm going to show you that. But we are really open to any other suggestions on how to make this as a space of hosting. So if you have any ideas, any projects we could run here at the Chateau, please leave us a comment. That would be amazing. I'm not sure yet how genius this whole idea about the guest rooms really is, but we wanted to share it with you at an early stage to see what you think. And that's the good thing of having a YouTube channel. You can throw ideas out there and see what sticks. While I don't mind sharing half-baked renovation and business plans with thousands of strangers, what I don't like to share is my private data when I'm surfing online. And that's why I'm using a VPN service called Surfshark, which encrypts your connection, keeping your activity private, secure, and safe from preying eyes, and also happens to be this week's ad. And this is particularly important when you use public Wi-Fi. I'm sure you have seen these warnings popping up about an unsecure connection, because everybody with a little bit of skills and bad intentions could intercept your credit card details, your social security number, or really whatever you do online. And Surfshark has another big perk. You can virtually change your location to avoid censorship and content restrictions. Like this summer, when our kids suddenly couldn't finish the movie they watched about a magician in a magical school because, well, it suddenly disappeared from the catalog. And then, like magic, abracadabra, thanks to Surfshark VPN wizardry, the movie reappeared. There's even Surfshark Search, a search engine without ads, without trackers, and nobody logging your activity. They offer 24/7 customer service and a 30-day money-back guarantee. So either try it out by clicking the link in the description or typing surfsharks.com/Chateau and use promo code Chateau to get extra 4 free months of VPN. So obviously this is all very fresh in our heads, but in my sleepless nights I was conceiving geniusly a perfect layout for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms in the ground floor and maybe 3 or 4 rooms upstairs. I haven't done the upstairs, I haven't drawn it, it's in my head somehow, but I want to show you what I planned for the ground floor. Each of these areas should become one room here, one room here, here and here, but here this is so big that I think we could even make 2 rooms in here, provided that we can make the bathrooms eating into the other, into this side and this side.
So your plan would be to get rid of the staircase, which we have the
Yes.
only staircase at the moment, and then open up this whole space here.
Yes. Well, we wanted to open it up anyway because...
We did want to open up, but originally we thought we would keep the staircase.
Yes.
So the idea is potentially then we would have like staircases built on the outside with Benoit.
Yeah, I show you where.
You typically see this in Normandy with some of the architecture is that you have like these wooden staircases. So it kind of goes up the side, it would go up the back here where we don't really have any openings anyway. Maybe we would have to have some entrances up in the roof, create some kind of new door spaces, I don't know. I think it would be ideal if we could probably make some kind of like staircase that would then go along to each different room up here. What do you think?
Yeah, because it would save us the space on the ground floor where the staircase is right now.
And then the other problem we have is obviously this was meant to be my atelier and I was very excited about it.
Do you really need an atelier?
I do need an atelier because I have got the pink room right now, which is great, but it's quite limited in space and I have to keep changing my table and
Yeah, you don't need to.
Also,
explain.
I'm quite messy.
You need one. You
I'm
deserve
quite
one.
messy, and
Yes.
I don't want to say,
So-
but I think that I've ruined the floor already. We'd need to resand that floor, and Ella has got her eye on that room. Well, we have this fallen down. You can't even see it. It's so overgrown.
Structure. Yeah.
There's
Yes.
a barn-like structure. If you come with me, I'll show you on the other side. It's better, it's visible over here. So I think you need to use your imagination a little bit. But we were initially thinking that we could potentially just get rid of this because we didn't really know what we would do with it. It's an old agricultural building. But now I think this would be the perfect place to have my atelier. And I love the idea that it could be this more rustic, sort of wooden, simple structure. I love even the cladding. I think that it's quite nice because it would keep that sort of agricultural feeling from the origins of this building. The reason that we could potentially transform this into my atelier is because the building is still standing and it is on the land register. So we would potentially get planning permission to transform this into a atelier space, which would be looking very similar to what it is now, obviously a bit cleaner, but we'd have to keep the elements like the wooden slatting that would have to stay, but obviously more windows to create enough light for me to be able to use it as an atelier. And I think that would be the perfect space surrounded by a beautiful orchard and lots of planting to host my retreats.
Well, there's one problem though. What's with my office?
So right, as you know, and you will have seen in all of our YouTube videos, Philip's office is a little small and a big mess. I think that we've also realised that we're missing a workspace, a workshop for Philip, and a space where we can actually get messy. And we have another building that I think is the answer for this. So let's go and have a look. If you're tempted to ask about this building, it's the old pressoir that belonged to the chateau before, but now it's our neighbour's building. So unfortunately it's not on our property anymore.
But
we do have this. Again, you've got to use your imagination. This is the old barrel house where they were making Calvados when this was formerly a Calvados producer and cider producer. It's just a very modern concrete building and we didn't really know what we were going to do with it either. It is pretty gross in here. It's very moldy and it has this horrible polystyrene insulation with mold. It smells quite gross in here.
But I can already see a perfect woodworking workshop here.
Exactly. I think this could be the perfect workshop for Philip and obviously Benoit whenever he's coming over here. And yeah, for any messy projects.
And all our tools that are right now in the attic should be
all
here.
our tools and also all our garden equipment, which we have at the moment in the coach house.
Could come here. With all my tools, a proper man cave with a big key, and only I am allowed to open this. And whatever the plans are for the coach house, I think this is quite urgent to do in reality because we need to get a space for all the tools that are right now in the coach house and the tools in the attic. So this might as well be an intermediate project before we, and especially if we have to wait for planning for the modifications in the coach house. So this could be something that we tackle right sooner than later.
That's exciting.
That's exciting, yeah. I'm excited. I want to do that. I want to start now. We probably have to redo the roof because it's not in good condition.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just a matter of cleaning and maybe putting in some windows and repainting. And also we need to find a usage for all the barrels in there. So if anybody has an idea what to do with these barrels, please don't give us too complicated ideas because we don't have time to turn them into a swimming pool or a finished sauna or an outdoor wellness real pool. If you have short ideas, cool, short, quick ideas, we are grateful. This is the other side of the workshop, the future workshop. And as you can see, you can't see it because it's just overgrown. So that will be a next cool step to get rid of all the plants around here.
Yep, all the ivy
Yeah.
and clean it up
Yeah.
And then potentially also start doing some planting here. So I would love to redesign the potager area.
Oh yes. Oh, look at this. Look, this is beautiful.
Ooh, some strawberries.
Oh, is it the one who finds it can eat it?
All right.
Oh, it's so good. Look at this, a gherkin.
It's not a gherkin, it's a cucumber.
A cucumber.
Yeah, okay, so don't look too closely.
Don't you want to harvest the cucumber?
I think it needs to grow a little bit more.
I think it's not going to... Is it still growing, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Tomatoes?
But yeah, I'm a bit ashamed of my potager. My vegetable garden has been a little bit neglected this summer. I tried to grow sweet corn. There's maybe one potential sweet corn that's still growing. I don't know if it's too late. I had broccoli and they haven't come to anything. I think it was just too dry. There wasn't enough rain this summer and we were away. I want to redesign it and I would love to grow a few more flowers, even potentially grow some botanicals which I could use for natural dyeing and flower printing. That's another thing I'd really like to get into. So I think there's a lot of exciting plans coming up. What does all of these new ideas, what does it mean for our channel?
Well, I think we just continue the tasks that we can do, which are not dependent on the new planning that we need to submit. Of course, there will be some things that we can't do, but there's also quite a lot of things that we still can do. We need to find a room for all the tools. Yeah, that is enough things to do.
Working on this, the barrel house, clearing where my new atelier might go.
There's a couple of things that we would have needed to do anyway.
Yeah.
I think for the channel, it means that the coach house renovation is getting even more exciting.
Yes.
Because it's becoming a bigger project.
Potentially.
We're going to do a lot of things ourselves as well.
Let us know, what do you think of this crazy decision or crazy change of plan? Are we completely mad? Just change our minds.
And do you understand the thought process that was behind it? Was it clear, or do you think it's just bonkers?